Welcome to Rebloom, the podcast about reinvention, second chances, and rising into the next chapter of your life. I'm your host, Vanessa Bright, entrepreneur, environmental leader, and someone who believes it's never too late to grow into who you're meant to be. If you're rebuilding, rediscovering, or reclaiming your power, you're in the right place. Let's begin.
Hello, Rebloomers. Today we have as our guest Stacey Harley of Naturez Daughter. Welcome, Stacey.
Thank you for having me.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about Naturez Daughter and what it does?
So Naturez Daughter is at its heart all about reconnecting people to the land and the community. And we do that through workshops with eco wellness. We do it with transforming outdoor spaces and things like that. And we always say, we're not just growing plants, but we're growing people and community and empowerment, right? And so through our workshops and events that we have in the community that we host, this is how we get our message out to individuals.
Are you also growing food?
Yes, we work with several farmers out here locally in Maryland. And basically, we just partnership with them to grow in their spaces that they already have.
Okay.
Yes.
And then are you selling that food somewhere?
Yes. So we have a space at the Anne Arundel County's Farmers Market that we sell. And this year, we'll be launching our first mobile farmers market. So we'll have pop-up stations and things like that for people to come and meet up with us to get a piece of our produce.
And it'll all be under the brand of Naturez Daughter?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds exciting.
Yes, I'm very excited.
So some of you may know, if you looked at my interview, that I work in the environmental space. So in addition to the nonprofit that I run for people coming out of incarceration, we have a conservation landscaping company. And so I learned of Stacey and her work through Naturez Daughter, through people that I know in the environmental world community. And it's a very small community in the Annapolis and Anne Arundel County area. So Stacey has come in to talk to our program participants and lead them in workshops around wellness and healing using nature. And she's done that a couple times for us, and it has been well received. And the comments have been very good about, people really felt that it did something for them, that they found some healing in that process. And so, Stacey, first I want to know, where did you develop this passion to do this type of work?
So I feel like it's always been instilled in me, right? I grew up in nature, surrounded by nature. My family also has Native American roots here.
Okay.
And my uncle had a farm. So I've always been around growing food, and I've always been curious about plants. And so with that, that curiosity has grown, and now I'm trying to share what I have learned with other individuals, because I feel like it is very necessary right now.
And so in your experience, you work with our class, you work with other individuals from, various spaces and places in life. So what has been a common thread that you hear people say in your wellness workshops?
That they don't even know that nature can be a healer, right? They know nature as a resource. We know that we grow food, and, we can enjoy outdoor activities at the river or whatever, at the beach and things, but they forget the actual connection. They forget how connected we are to nature. And I feel like it's my duty to bring that connection back, right? And to show them those roots and to get us back to that center.
So if I was in a workshop with you, one of your wellness workshops, because I haven't been at one, unfortunately, tell me something that you might say to me as a person, or some connection that you can make for me with nature and healing.
So just like nature has its seasons, right? Sometimes nature is in a restful state in the winter, and we have spring where we rebloom and, we regenerate.
Like that word.
and we'll come back to life. So I always tell everybody, remember that, right? We're not always in the same phase of life. We're always regrowing, and, we're always changing and shifting. And so just remember to keep that connection with nature, because even though the tree may look like it doesn't have any leaves and it looks
Mm-hmm.
like it's dead,
Mm-hmm.
you give it some time and she's going to come back. She's going to
Mm-hmm.
have leaves. She may have flowers that
Mm-hmm.
bloom,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and there may even be a fruiting season that
Mm-hmm.
happens. So be patient with yourself,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and trust that this is just a season of transition for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one key thing that I really try to share with individuals.
And I like that, because that's one of the things that we are trying to teach our listeners, is that, you know, we have different seasons that we go
Absolutely.
through. We have to be patient, give ourselves grace.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes it might be a dormant season, but that doesn't mean that it's always going to be like that. And if we look to
Right.
nature, we can see how things come back. I didn't know about perennials really for a
Mhm.
long time. So I used to plant annuals all the time. And
Yeah.
now I'm still excited when they come back. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, they
Yes.
keep coming back. They keep coming back. And
Yes.
it's the same in life.
Yes.
People keep coming back. And like
Mhm.
the people that we work with, our clients, same sort of deal. It's always exciting to see their growth,
Yes.
them reaching their potential. And so nature is really a metaphor for the life that we live.
Absolutely.
And so you told me you do some other things.
Mhm.
There's some other things you make from
So
organic matter. Can you tell us a little bit
right.
about
So
that?
we just don't grow food.
Mhm.
We also grow a lot of herbs, and we use those herbs in our leaf teas.
Mhm.
So we make healing teas. We also have a workshop where we actually educate you on those herbs and show you how to use them, and you can make a blend that is actually custom to you.
Okay.
We also do infusions where we take the herbs and we infuse them into oils. You can use them for cooking, massaging, and then we have jewelry that we make. So we do a lot, you know, and I'm really big on utilizing the whole plants. So from root to stem, you know.
Okay.
So we try to make sure we do that.
And where can folks find these things? Are they at the farmers market?
We will have them with us at our farmers markets. You can special order items, book a workshop, and you can participate and create your own. And then you can also just catch us on our social media platforms to place your orders there for
Okay.
now.
Okay.
So
how long have you had Naturez Daughter?
Naturez Daughter has been alive and well for 3 years now.
Okay. Congratulations.
Super excited. Thank you. Super excited to see how we are growing every year and how our programs are being received. So I'm excited for 2026 to see where we go with it.
You got anything you want to share with us about that might be coming down the pipe for 2026?
So we do have a couple of things. Like I have mentioned, our mobile farmers market is in play.
Okay.
And then we also have some really big restoration projects that are happening that we are working with Anne Arundel County Recs and Parks to do.
Okay.
And then we're also starting up a community grow program with local churches. So I'm super excited about that, to get the communities involved and see how everybody responds to that.
Can you tell us a little bit about the restoration projects? Because, you know, we do restoration work as well.
Yes.
And I know you and
You
I
know
know
it.
and Randy, and we partners on some things together. But what are y'all doing at Recs and Park?
So Recs and Park, I am right now currently working with the Watershed Stewards Academy.
Okay,
and
right.
So
we're in the same class, guys.
Yes, yes. And so with that, my project is what I'm trying to do is restore one of our local community parks.
Okay.
It's a park that's kind of been abandoned,
Mhm.
and you know, I really feel like there's a need for us to have a community space where our children can come. You know, our community can come and engage. We can have educational workshops. You know, my vision is to have a beautiful pollinator field with trails that identify the native plants out here. And then hopefully have a community grow garden there where we could actually do some educational sessions there with the community. So,
is this going to be your capstone?
Yes.
Can you tell us where the park is?
It's on Sands Road in Harwood, Maryland, Lothian, Harwood, Maryland. And it originally was a landfill. So that's why it's so important for me to try to restore this piece of the land.
Okay.
It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of land out there, and it runs right into the back of the Patuxent River.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just needs a lot of love and attention. And I think that's why, you know, I'm really focused on that, trying to get that initiative going.
Okay. So Stacey and I have been in the same Watershed Stewards class. And as a part of that program that you go through, you do what they call a capstone project. And so we find an area that we want to restore or we may teach workshops, and that's what Stacey is referring to. And one of our future interviews that you will see in a couple of weeks, I actually interviewed Suzanne Ekin, who is the executive director of the Watershed Steward. So you'll learn more about that work.
Awesome.
So building a business is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
So let's talk about, what kind of challenges, have you faced in doing this?
So, one, let's just talk about just being a woman of color, trying to put her foot into this environmental world and have a voice out here has been a little challenging. But, I've learned that if I stick to my community, like stick close and let it spread by word of mouth and things like that, it grows. But yeah, so that's pretty much kind of what it was.
So have you been able to take advantage of the programs in the county that they have for small businesses?
No, I'm working on that.
Okay.
Everything right now, I'm kind of just handling on my own, and just getting people to see the vision, hear what I have to say is my goal right now. And I think by doing the work, people see the work, they see what's happening, is really what's going to get me, off the ground with it.
And I was really excited to interview Stacey, one, because of the work she does around nature and healing. And I'm a licensed social worker, and I've taken some CEUs in that. I haven't done anything yet. And so hopefully I will be doing that. But also, as you said, a woman of color and being in this environmental space, I kind of fell into this environmental space. But I notice when I enter rooms, it's not a lot of times I see people that look like me. Absolutely. And so I want to encourage, other, people from diverse races and cultures to get involved in this work, because it's very important. We only have one earth, and we need to protect it. If not for ourselves, we should be trying to protect it for our children and, and future generations. So we'll have some information on the website about how people can get involved.
Yes.
And so to help our listeners, of course, you have a big farm, your family has, and you can grow a lot of stuff. But if somebody lives in an apartment or a smaller space, what can they do so that they can have some green space?
Yes, I'm big on growing in small spaces, just letting people know, like, you don't need acres to grow food, right? So someone living in an apartment, start small. Start with something small, like these little pots. You can put them on your windowsill. And I really like small herb gardens for people who live in like small spaces because they're just easy and accessible to get to. They don't require a lot of attention and maintenance over time. So I say start small. Start with something that you can put in your windowsill and you can kind of just nurture and see it and watch it grow. And then when you get comfortable and you start to feel like, all right, well, maybe I could kind of branch out to do something better or bigger. I would suggest small vegetable plants, like a tomato plant or something like that. But definitely don't be intimidated because you don't have a lot of space, because all you need is this nice corner with some sunlight and a little bit of love for that plant. So.
And what plants did you bring today?
So today I brought a couple of my healing herbs, some of my favorite ones that I like to use in our loose leaf tea blends.
Okay.
So this beautiful baby right here is called burdock root. So burdock, you use her leaves and her roots, and it actually cleanses and filters your blood system. Okay. So it's actually one of the bases in every tea that I make for individuals. Rosemary is
I do like the rosemary.
My favorite. So a lot of people like to cook with rosemary. It's very aromatic.
I don't cook a lot, but I have used rosemary.
Yeah. Well, you should cook a lot with it. And so not only is rosemary good for cooking, but the rosemary plant itself is super healer for your brain health.
Okay.
So it helps you to retain your memory.
I need some more of that.
Yes, it helps
all of us probably need some more of that.
Absolutely. And for those who suffer with inflammation in their body, rosemary is number one for killing that or breaking down that inflammation in your body as well. And so it's pretty to look at. But if you touch her and you activate, because I'm all about sensories with the aromatics, not just the plant itself, but the oils that are released. And you just sniff your fingers and it kind of already starts to recalibrate your brain and reset your moods. So yeah, that's like my top tier plant that I always encourage everyone to have a rosemary plant in their garden. And the plant on the corner over there is sage. Sage is another powerful healing plant. It's great for your immune system.
Mm-hmm.
It's also good for balancing your energy, right? So Native Americans, or, you would see the sage bundles, like the little bundles that you would burn.
Mm-hmm.
And that is used to actually kill any antiviral, antibacterial microbes that may be floating in the air. So it's good for when you get sick, or if you have a lot of people over and you just want to kind of disinfect or detox your space. The sage is a really good plant for that. It's also great to eat and cook with.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know, but you're stuffing the key herb in that is going to be your sage. So it's another really fun culinary herb to have, and it's easy to grow. So yeah, I try to start with the basics with people and, go from there. But there's so many plants out here that heal.
Yeah, there's so many plants. There's so much information.
Yes.
You seem to have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to herbs and things that, most of us don't have.
Yeah.
And even with me going through watershed stewards, and I'm still trying to figure out, is that a native? Is that not a native? It's just a lot when you didn't grow up with this and you haven't been doing this work all the time.
Yes.
And, this is something relatively new to me. So where would you send a person to just find out, like, how do I know how much sunlight that needs? Is there any go-to place? I mean, I know we can all use Google and stuff.
Google is probably key. But typically, even if you don't have a website or anything, I say just look at the plant, right? The plant will tell you what it needs. You can look at the soil. You can tell whether the soil is dry or moist, whether it needs to be watered or not. So I always say, just look at the plant, right?
Okay.
But if you want book knowledge or educational knowledge, there's a lot of resources on just natural herbs that'll just tell you how to grow them and how to care for them. But, basically, just like us, we need the 3 essentials, right? Sunlight, water, and soil, just to stay grounded. And so think about it like that, right? What does it look like it needs? And then kind of respond accordingly like that. But typically they're very hard to kill.
That's one I need.
So, but yeah, there's always a lot of resources out there, that you can go to. But I always say, just look at the plant. The plant will tell you what it needs. Just like if you listen to your body, the body tells you what you need. So.
Do you have any go-to resources that you use, either whether it's a website, a book, or anything?
So I have a giant plant encyclopedia that I use. It's a herbal encyclopedia, and it literally lists every plant that you can kind of think of, and it tells you how to grow it, how to use it, what is it good for. There are certain herbs that are good for digestive health versus people who have diabetes. So a really fun plant that I try to engage in people for diabetic health is dandelion. Dandelions are taught to us as weeds, right? Kill it, pull it out,
or just blow it when you're a little kid.
Right, the little fluffies. But it's a powerful plant to help regulate blood sugar. So I really encourage people, when they are on that journey, to go natural, to start finding those plants that will help get to the root of the problem and not stay at that surface. So.
And are you putting those in teas and using them with the tea?
Yes.
So you're basically drinking it.
Yes, ma'am. So you can you can drink the tea. We fry our dandelion tops, the flowers. You can use the leaves in fresh salad. I mean, there's so many ways that you can utilize that plant, So when you see it in your yard, don't kill it, pull it, and, try something different.
So do you have any recipes we can share with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
so we'll make sure that those things are posted. The book that you talked about, the recipes that
of course,
that Stacey may want to share with us.
Yes.
All right. So where can people, well, first, before I get to that, is there anything else you want to share with our audience that you haven't already shared?
Just stay tuned for a lot of things that are coming for us. We are working on some youth workshops and programs to get out there. Like I said, stay tuned for that pop-up farmers market. We'll be making announcements for that. And, just a lot of projects that we have going on. We want to keep the community involved. We always are looking for our volunteers, people who are just want to be outside and want to kind of see what we're doing. So, we got a lot going on. So I'm excited.
Okay. So where can people find you? You want to give us a website?
Yes.
And again, we'll have this on our Rebloom website as
So
well.
right now you can find us on Instagram at Naturez Daughter, as well as Facebook. And soon to come, we will have an official website where you can see all the things that we're doing and be able to order our products and participate in our programs. But right now we have an email that you can reach us at and our social media spot.
Can you spell nature? Because I think it's spelled
so
differently.
Naturez is spelled with a Z, so
Yeah.
it is Naturez Daughter. So
okay.
Thank you.
And last question I always like to ask our guests is, what is reblooming in your life right now?
That is such a great question. So there's so much reblooming right now for me, as far as just, life-wise, career. Naturez Daughter is starting to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
We just got new greenhouses built, so we are starting to expand on our grow.
Is this on the farm?
This is on our space.
Mm-hmm.
And we're now starting to incorporate trees. So we have some fruit trees. So I'll be able to have fresh pears and peaches and apples are the first trees that we have right now. And just a lot of our workshops that are starting to come out. And then, I think just the biggest blooming season for me right now is just seeing my dream come to fruition, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the hard work, all the determinations, and all the sleepless nights and the crying and things like that. And I'm really starting to see my dream come to life. And so I'm just really excited and blessed for that.
I know I said last question, but when you said dream and seeing things come to light and all the, patience that you had to have, what kept you going? What kept you motivated?
My family, my team, and then just seeing the response of the individuals that I was connecting with and engaging with. And I was like, hey, this really connecting. Like, I'm really showing them something, and that feeling of purpose, knowing that I have a purpose and my vision is needed, right? What I'm doing out here is much needed right now where we are in this time. Mental health is so important.
Yes, it is.
Healing, and getting to that space of happiness and people realizing that it starts from within, and how nature can be used as a big healing tool for that, right? We don't need to go out and pay a whole lot of money for things. And we're always trying to fill that void, right? When really all you need to do is just tap in and reconnect and get back to your roots. And so just trying to get people to slow back down in life, understand that. And I'm starting to see that is really a connection that's needed. And it's really, it's happening. It's happening. And I really thank you for letting me, bring my workshop to your group of individuals, because I think, for one, they are the ones that really have been teaching me and showing me and encouraging me to go on and on. So it's been a really good experience for me.
I'm glad to hear that. And I'm just so happy about this whole natural piece, because in the world that we live in, especially in the United States, it's like, how fast can I write you a prescription for a drug?
Yes.
And if you don't take anything else away from this, just remember that there is healing power in nature, and that we get back to our roots. We could stop, come off some of that medication.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not saying that, it's not needed for some folks, but sometimes we can do it by natural means. And I believe that if possible, in trying that first, at least for myself.
For sure. So I always say preventative, right? Or so let's try to be proactive, and not wait till, and let's not be reactive, right? Let's not wait until something has happened or that we're triggered. If we just practice just small changes and new introductions of things, those things are significant over time. So and it resets the brain too. It's like, okay, well, that worked, so maybe let me incorporate another herb, or let me incorporate another type of practice, or because it's working for me.
Right. And even if we still find ourselves having to take medication, I think we probably can take less.
Yes.
I mean, of course, we need to consult
There's a balance.
our doctors
Absolutely.
and all that. But when possible, I say natural, because all this other stuff didn't exist way back.
Right. And the root of most medicines that people take now are from the actual plant, the natural plant, right? So that's why they say, if you're on a diabetic medicine, be careful incorporating the dandelion in, because what you're taking in a pill is a synthetic form of that natural plant. So, we want to get back to that natural state, but it has to be in a gradual, safe, process when you're already, on medication and things like that. But there's always a way, right? And like you said, just small things, small incorporations, can help and go a long way in your health. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yes,
Stacey.
thank you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Rebloomers, for joining with us today. And, continue growing, continue to learn, and just stay open to new opportunities.
Thank you for spending this time with me on Rebloom. If this conversation spoke to you, share it with someone else who might be ready for their next chapter. And remember, reinvention doesn't mean starting over, it means starting wiser. Until next time, keep growing, keep rising, and keep blooming.